हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So in this chapter we are seeing Bhagwan revealing this highest truth, that the Kshetra, which is expressing as this world, and Kshetrajna, the knower of this body, the knower of this world, that Kshetrajna is Ishvara himself. And this world is also Ishvara. So one has to understand and gain abidance in this knowledge, in this fact. So there are those who can do this through dhyana, which is the highest spiritual practice. So after gaining firm understanding and conviction, one has to meditate and gain that abidance in the self. If dhyana is difficult, then one should practice Sankhya Yoga. If one is not ready for Sankhya Yoga, then one should practice Karma Yoga. Or we should listen to our teacher and do some upasana, which will purify our mind and make us fit for Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga and Dhyana. So through Dhyana, we gain that knowledge that I am Brahma. So this ignorance which we have, what is ignorance, what is avidya? That I don't know that I am Brahma. I know that I am, but I don't know that I am Brahma. Again, I know this world is, but I don't know the world is Brahma. So there is adhyas about the knower, the Kshetrajna, and adhyas about this world. So when this adhyas gets eliminated, one gains that abidance in one's supreme self. And such an enlightened person, he sees the presence of that supreme self, Parameshvara, in all. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinachyatsu avinashyantam yap pashyati sapashyati. He alone sees, who see the presence of that Paramatma in all the beings. Though the outer form, outer body keeps on changing and getting destroyed, means keep on changing, but that Paramatma doesn't change. Paramatma is same in all. So one who gains this understanding, firm abidance in this understanding, he doesn't destroy his self and gains that supreme gati, gains that abidance, gains that Brahma, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati, Brahmavidapnoti param, he attains that param gati. Thereafter there is no more samsara for this person. So this adhyas is there, misunderstanding about this world and misunderstanding about myself. So an enlightened person doesn't have this misunderstanding. He sees, Bhagavan says, that all activities are happening in Prakriti. Prakriteva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah yap pashyati tatha atmanam akartaram yap pashyati. He knows that I am not a doer. All actions are happening in Prakriti alone. All activities are done and happening in Prakriti, and I am a karta. Yap pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. So that adhyas which one has, that I am the doer, that adhyas is not there. in an enlightened person. See, all the activities are done by the body, by the mind, by the intellect, which are nothing but Prakriti. But due to adhyas, we consider ourselves as the doer. I am the doer. I am the knower. I am the enjoyer. So the activities of the Prakriti is superimposed on ourselves, and falsely we consider ourselves as the Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. But this adhyas is not there in an enlightened person. So there is no confusion about the self, and there is no confusion about the world also. That is what now Bhagavan tells in the next verse, verse number 30. Bhagavan says, Yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyate tataeva cha vistaram brahma sampadhyate tada. Bhagavan says that yada, when a seeker, a spiritual seeker, when he sees anupashyati, when he comes to recognize, when he sees, when he comes to recognize, anupashyati, here Shankaracharya ji says, anupashyati means Shastra Acharya Upadeshatah Matva Atma Pratyakshatvena Pashyati. See, we see the world, we see ourselves through ignorance, through our avidya, through our confusion. So however long we see, we will continue to remain ignorant only. Even when we are alone with ourselves in deep sleep, we don't recognize ourselves. And we keep on seeing and analyzing this world, we will never understand the secret of this world. And that is what is being done by the scientist. The scientists keep on studying the world, and every time they discover something new, something fascinating, something different, and more questions they are produced, and they never arrive at the final understanding. Then there are those who are doing spiritual investigation and research without taking the guidance of the scriptures. They also keep on meditating, keep on doing upasana, keep on doing different spiritual practices, pranayam and different types of dhyana and asanas and all sorts of things they keep on doing. But that also doesn't lead to self-realization. So what is the meaning of anupashyati? See, once we should understand that the praman for self-realization, praman for brahmajnana are the Vedas, and in the Vedas the Upanishads. Upanishads are the praman. And Bhagavad Gita, which is based on the Upanishad, is also praman. And Brahma Sutras, which are based on the Upanishad, they are also praman. So taking the help of this pramana granthas, with the help of an enlightened teacher, when we study, when we learn, we come to understand and see that Brahma as our own self. So what does this person see? He says, Yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. See, an enlightened person also continue to see this world. The world doesn't disappear with enlightenment. The world remains. The same mountain, the same river, the same people, the same beings are seen by an enlightened person also. because all these are expression of Prakriti. Enlightenment doesn't destroy Prakriti. As we have seen before also, Prakriti is the Shakti of Bhagwan. So he sees Prathak Bhavam, he sees the different expressions, different beings, different expressions as we see. But what is the difference? He sees all of them in Ekastham, present in one. He sees all beings with all the expressions, with the entire creation present in one. See, when an ignorant person sees, he sees differences. Different bodies, different beings, different, everything we see as different. We are convinced that everything is different. But an enlightened person, when he sees the entire creation with all the multiplicities in one. Ekastham anupashyati. One in, what is that one? In that Atma, in that Param Atma, in that Kshetrajna which is Paramatma. In that Paramatma only he sees the presence of all the beings and everything. Shankaracharya ji writes कि यदा यस्मिन् काले भूत पृथक भावं भूतानां पृथक भावं पृथक्त्वं एकस्थम एकस्मिन् आत्मनि स्थितम, sees them present in oneself, that they are not separate, but they are all present in me. Atma eva idam sarvam means he looks at the whole thing as his own self. Everything is present in me. See, with the eyes we gain one type of knowledge. But with the understanding of the buddhi, of the Shastra, we gain another understanding of this whole world. For example, when we see different gold ornaments with our eyes, we see the differences. The differences are also there. We see all the differences. But with our understanding, we come to know that all of them are present in gold. The understanding which we gain through the Shastras doesn't contradict the understanding which we have through our senses. But we gain a higher understanding. What I see with my eyes is also true. There are differences which I see. Because the reality cannot be seen with the eyes. But when I understand that reality, I come to know that everything exists in that reality. So, yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyate. So, an enlightened person also sees many multiplicity, but all this is seen in one. The world doesn't disappear, the multiplicity doesn't disappear, but everything is seen in one. See, this is what is called Advaita. Advaita doesn't mean that one Brahma is there and everything is mithya. That is a wrong, false understanding. Advaita means that everything is Brahma. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. We don't have to negate the world in order to prove that Brahma alone is there. We have to assimilate the world in Brahma. That is the truth. We don't have to throw away all the gold ornaments in order to prove that only gold alone is there. Even when the ornaments are visible, gold alone is there. The multiplicity of the ornaments do not interfere with the oneness of gold. Similarly, the multiplicity of this world doesn't interfere with the oneness of Ishvara, oneness of Brahma, oneness of that Atma. So, yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. Anupashyati. He sees with the eye of wisdom, with the eye of enlightenment. Not only this, but tata evacha vistaram. He sees everything existing in that Atma, and he sees everything is expressing through that Atma. Tata evacha vistaram. This whole vistar, this whole multiplicity is expression of that Atma alone. Tata eva, from that alone, that means from that Atma, that ekastham Atma. Tata eva tasmad eva cha vistaram utpattim vikasam. Everything he sees born from that Atma alone. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, he quotes from Chandogya Upanishad. He says, that enlightened person says, Atmataha pranaha. That from that Atma alone, prana is born, which is the Shakti, which controls, which is seen expressing through everything. All the activities, whether they are in the material field or in the living beings, all activities are expressions of prana. Prana is that one Shakti. Even in the field of science, they are trying to find out that one thing which will explain everything. Unified field theory. They are trying to understand what is that one which can explain everything. Which can explain all the activities of this world. That one is prana. And that prana is born from our own self. That prana alone expresses in all the living beings as life. So atmataha pranaha, atmataha asha, all the desires, expectation which are there in the then the mind and intellect, that is also ultimately come from the self alone. Atmataha smara, atmataha akashaha, all the memories, then the akash is also born from that atma. Atmataha tejaha, the fire is born from atma. Atmataha apaha, water is born from atma. Atmataha avirbhava tirobhava, everything is born and everything merges into that atma alone. एतस्मात् आत्मनः आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरापः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्याम् ओषधयः. Like that the Upanishad says that everything has come from that Atma. Atmataha annam, all food or all matter, everything is born from Atma. So one who sees this Anupashyati, with the eye of wisdom. See means not that he is, with this eye he sees what all of us are seeing. But with that eye of wisdom he sees that everything is born from Atma. Tata evacha vistaram. When a person is able to see this, then Bhagavan says, Brahma sampadyate tada. then understand he has attained Brahma. This person has attained Brahma. Two things actually. The two adhyas which we have about the world and about ourselves. So in the previous shloka, Bhagwan said that he doesn't have any confusion about his self. He doesn't think himself as the doer. All actions are happening in the Prakriti. But this Prakriti is not a separate existence. Prakriti is not something different. The Prakriti is also all established in that Brahma, and everything has come from that Brahma alone. So the essence of Prakriti is Brahma, and the essence of me is Brahma. Both should be understood. If we neglect the Prakriti, we will not attain that moksha. If we neglect ourselves, we will not attain moksha. Both should be understood, both should be assimilated. Because both are Anadi, Ananta, and they are actually Brahma only. So a lot of people, due to misunderstanding, they try to negate this Prakriti, saying that it is mithya, 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 that it is not there, it is illusion. Which is wrong. That is not what the Shastras say. They say that world is illusion, but I am not an illusion. Neither the world nor you are illusion. Both of you, the world as well as myself, we are Brahma. So yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastam anupashyati, when he sees with this eye of wisdom that everything exists in me, everything is my own self, and everything is expression of myself. It's the expression of my own self. Just as the sun, let us say the sun, Surya Bhagwan, he might see billions and billions of his own rays, but he doesn't get confused that, all these rays are so many different suns. No, all of them are myself. All these rays exist in me, and all these rays, they emerge from me only. In the same way, an enlightened person sees the entire expression is expression of his own self. Everything has come from his self, remains in self, merges back into self. Mayyeva sakalam jatam mayi sarvam pratishthitam mayi sarvam layam yati tad brahma advayam asmyaham. But then there is one question now. Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji in his commentary, he raises this question. कि एकस्य आत्मनः सर्वदेहात्मत्वे तद्दोष संबंधे प्राप्ते इदम उच्यते. That if there is only one Atma in all, everything is existing in one Atma, that one Atma alone is present in all, then that Atma must will become contaminated. Atma must have become contaminated because there is so much dosha, defect is there in the bodies, in the mind, in the senses. You see in this world so much of cruelty, so much of injustice, so much of ugliness is there. So if in all this there is only one Atma, then that Atma must be totally contaminated. Bhagavan says no. This Atma, though present in all, remains untouched by the contamination, doesn't get contaminated. That's what now Bhagavan says in verse number 31. Anaditvam nirgunatvat paramatmayam avyayah sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Bhagavan says that anaditvat, this Atma is anadi, beginningless, means causeless, means ever existing, means untouched by time, means is not born in time. Anaditvat, since it is anadi, and nirgunatvat, and devoid of any gunas, devoid of any quality, means devoid of any property. Therefore, this Paramatma is avyayaha. Anaditvat nirgunatvat Paramatma ayam avyayaha. Avyaya means indestructible. See, that which has got a beginning will have an end also. But Atma is beginningless. That which begins in time, it ends, whatever it is. If something has got a cause and it begins, then it will end because it is affected by time. It may last for a long time sometimes, but it will ultimately come to an end. That's what we seek all the time in this world. So many new things keep on coming and they come to an end also. Every time there is something new, some new agitation, some new theories, some new concept, and they disappear also. That is the very nature of things which come in existence in a particular form, in time. They are destroyed in time. But Atma is anadi, is always there. It doesn't get affected. It is not touched by time. What I was 10,000 years ago and what I am now is same. What I was billions of years ago and what I am now is same. Is not touched by time. Anaditvat and nirgunatvat doesn't have any quality. See, something has got quality, like some object, it has got this color, it has got some length, some breadth. So when that quality is there, then that quality also gets destroyed. Slowly the color fades, the strength also goes away, becomes weak. So that which has got quality, those qualities also change. But Brahma doesn't have any quality. It is not big to become small. It is not small to become big. It is not black to become white. There are no qualities. Nirgunatvat. Paramatma, Paramatma. Therefore, it is avyayam. Anadehi bhava anaditvam adi karanam tad yasya na asti tad anadihi. Yadhi adimat tat svena atmana veti. Ayam tu aditva anaditvat niravayava iti kritva na veti. Tata nirgunatvat saguno hi guna vyayad veti, ayam tu nirgunatvat na veti. So Shankaracharya ji writes that which has got a adi, it gets destroyed. Also that which has got gunas, it gets destroyed. But this Atma is neither adi nor does it have any gunas. And one who has recognized himself as this Atma, Param Atma, Sharirasthopi, such an enlightened person, though seen expressing through a body, Sharirasthopi Kaunteya, he Kaunteya, Sharirasthopi, though expressing through a body, na karoti, he doesn't do anything, and na lipyate, and doesn't get tainted or contaminated by the results of karma. What is the meaning of sharirasthopi? Shankaracharya writes, sharireshu atmanah upalabdhi bhavati iti sharirastah. See, that Atma we experience, we come to recognize it in the body at present. Through the body, in the body, it is recognized. Therefore, it is said it is present in the body. But really speaking, it is not connected to the body. Just like a space, we recognize with respect to the pot. So we see the pot and then we understand the pot space. Though the pot space doesn't depend on the pot and is not connected to the pot, and it exists independent of the pot. But now, with respect to pot, we experience that space. In the same way that Atma is seen, experienced, recognized with respect to the body. Therefore, it is said that it is present in the body. It's just a way of saying it. But really speaking, it is present everywhere. It has got no connection with the body. Therefore, sharirasthopi kaunteya. So, though present and seen in the body, this enlightened person, who is the Atma, though present and seen in the body, and the body is seen functioning as before, enlightenment doesn't stop the body from functioning. Enlightenment doesn't stop the mind from functioning. So, the body continues to function, the mind continues to feel, the intellect continues to think. So, all the activities of the body, mind continue to happen, which generally we feel is done by that person. And if that is done by a person, that person gets tainted, contaminated by the results of that karma. But Bhagavan says, though he is seen, present in the body, he is not doing anything. Atma doesn't do anything, but we don't know. We are deluded. We think I am doing. Ahankara vimodhatma karta aham iti manyate. But a self-realized person knows. So he doesn't do anything. Na karoti. Therefore, na lipyate. Therefore, he is not tainted by the result. Because one who is doing is also connected to the result. If I do something, then I have to face the good and bad consequences. But if I am not the doer, then I am not the enjoyer, and I am not the knower also. All these three are same, connected with each other. So sharirasthopi kaunteya न करोति न लिप्यते यो हि कर्ता स कर्म फलेन लिप्यते अयम तो अकर्ता अतः न फलेन लिप्यते इत्यर्थः. One who is karta alone gets bound to the karma phala, but one who is not a karta is not bound by the karma phala. So na karoti na lipyate. Now see, that is the beauty of Bhagwan Shankaracharyaji's commentary. He raises some questions himself, or maybe some of his disciples might have raised these questions, and he replies. So after listening to this shloka, this question might come in our mind. What is the question? Let us read the Sanskrit. It's very beautiful. Kaha punaha deheshu karoti lipyate cha यदि तावद् अन्यः परमात्मनः देही करोति लिप्यते च तत इदम् अनुपपन्नम् उक्तं क्षेत्रज्ञ ईश्वर एकत्वं क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि इत्यादि. In this shloka it was said that this enlightened person neither does nor gets tainted by the karma and karma phala. If this is the truth, then who is there who does and gets tainted? If he is not doing, then somebody must be doing, because actions are being done, action continue to happen. If you say that this enlightened person is not doing, Atma is not doing, then who is doing? And you also had said that Atma is Ishvara only, and Ishvara alone is present in all. Kshetrajñam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So if Ishvara alone is present in all, and he alone is that Atma, and Atma is not doing anything, therefore Atma is not getting contaminated by the actions, then the question is, who is doing and who is getting contaminated? That you should tell. Otherwise you will have to say that the statement that Ishvara alone is present in everyone is false. Or you will have to say that there is no such Ishvara only. Atha na asti Ishvarad anyah dehi kaha karoti lipyate cha iti vachyam paro va nasti iti. Other than Ishvara, if there is no one Dehi is not there other than Ishvara, then you should tell who is there, who is doing all these actions, how it is being done. Or you will have to say that there is no such Ishvara. I had seen one video of that little child, and a cake was kept in front of that child, birthday cake, and the celebration was about to begin, and the child was left alone for some time with the cake, and nobody was there. So the child started eating the cake. and it was even on his face and hands. So then the mother came and she saw and she asked the child, "Who ate the cake?" He said, "I don't know." "Who else came here?" "Nobody." "Who ate the cake?" "I don't know." "Did you eat?" "No." And the child continued eating in front of the mother also. Similar is here, actions are being done in the body. Body continues to act. Mind continues to feel, think. Even an enlightened person we see walking, talking, doing all the activities. Even those mentioned in our scriptures also, they are seen doing, performing activities. Even Raja Janak, he was a king, he was doing all his kingly duties. Even Avatar, Bhagwan takes avatar, he is an enlightened being, but is seen as performing actions. And he said that no, Atma is not doing anything and is not getting contaminated. So who is doing? कौन कर रहा है? Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes, he has got good sense of humor also. He says कि सर्वथा दुर्विज्ञेयम दुर्वाच्यम चैति भगवत प्रोक्तम औपनिषदम दर्शनम परित्यक्तम वैशेषिकैः सांख्य अर्हत बौद्धैश्च. He says what Bhagwan is saying and all the Upanishads what are saying are so difficult to comprehend. Durvigneyam, very difficult to understand. Therefore, it is being dropped by Vaisheshikaihi. There are those Vaisheshik darshanas are there, the philosophers called Vaisheshikas, who are like scientists. They believe that everything is matter, that even life is expression of matter. Everything is made up of atoms and subatomic particles. And there is this energy in these particles. So what the scientists are saying, mass and energy, that mass is nothing but concentrated energy only. Therefore mass and energy are related. M is equal to, E is equal to mc square. So everything is matter, everything is energy. That itself is expressing as life, as consciousness. So materialistic vision, they are called the Vaisheshikas. Then there are those Sankhya who says there are two realities. One is Prakriti and another is Purusha. And Purusha is not one. There are multiple Purushas and Prakriti is there. And Purusha somehow got connected, got contaminated, got attached, got bound by this Prakriti. So through yogasanas, through yoga sadhanas, yam niyamasan pranayam pratyahara dharana dhyan samadhi chitta vritti nirodh, the Purusha should separate from Prakriti. That itself they think is moksha. Then there are those Arhata Jain. The Jainism also, they don't believe in God. They talk about Jiva only. They say that Jiva is contaminated through so many lifetimes. So through vigorous sadhana, one should clean that Jiva of all his contamination. And when that person becomes absolutely clean, then that itself is called moksha. Then there are those Buddhist, they also say that there is no God. And they say there is no world also. World is just imagination of our mind. And they say there is no Atma also. Atma is also illusion, world is also illusion, God is also not there. So they say that nothing is there. Now somehow something is seen. So if you do some sadhana, nothing will remain. So they have their own strange understanding of everything. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, because these Upanishadic statements are so difficult to comprehend, see, all these people have rejected, renounced, thrown away. But it doesn't mean it is difficult to understand. One has to have that faith and proper guidance, then everything becomes clear. Bhagavan says this question was answered before. That who is doing that action? So that again Bhagavan reminds us of what was said before. He says, Tatra ayam pariharo bhagavata svena eva uktaha svabhavastu pravartate iti. He said that Bhagavan had already answered this question in the 5th chapter, wherein he said that everything happens according to svabhav. Svabhavastu pravartate. In that 5th chapter, Bhagavan had said that this Atma, it doesn't do anything. Na kartutvam na karmani lokasya shrajati prabhuhu na karma phala sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. That the Paramatma doesn't do anything. Nor is there any kartutva in that Paramatma. Nor does he give that, does the karma or give the result. All these activities are happening according to svabhav. Svabhavastu pravartate. And what is this svabhav? Svabhav is prakriti plus avidya. Recall in the 7th chapter Bhagavan had said, about Svabhav Bhagavan had said is avidya sanyuktam avyaktam. This avyakta prakriti along with the avidya of all beings and the samskar of this avidya as all the desires, that together expresses as all this action. This avidya in us has created a sense of I, that ahankar. That ahankar is the one who is the prerak behind all action. See, when I am in deep sleep, there is no ahankar. No actions are happening. There is no adhyas. But in the waking, there is this ahankar, that notion of I, that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the knower, I am seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, I am thinking, I am deciding. This sense of I, which is actually also part of this Prakriti, this sense of I propels all actions in this body as well as in everybody, as well as in the totality. Everything is propelled by this ahankar, which is due to the false understanding only. It's a product of avidya. So there is this anadi, avidya is there, due to which there is anadi, ahankar, and all these activities are propelled by that. But once one gains knowledge, that ahankar gets dissolved and one becomes free. It is said that one has gained moksha. So this ahankar is called swabhava, and everything happens according to swabhava. It is all programmed in the Prakriti. Just like we have our mobile, we upload, let us say, an application. So lot of features are there in that application, and according to those features, the whole thing happens. Everything is fed into it, and accordingly the whole thing happens. Automatically programmed. So similarly, this Prakriti is programmed by the Vidya, which has created ahankar individually, also at the totality level, and propelled by this ahankar, all the activities happen. So I am the seer of this world, I am the doer, I am the knower. This is a ahankar only. So when that right understanding takes place, this ahankar gets dissolved. That itself is called moksha. So that Bhagavan says that svabhavastu pravartate iti avidya matra svabhavo hi karoti lipyate iti vyavaharo bhavati na to paramarthatah ekasmin paramatmani tad asti. So that due to this avidya, this svabhav which is there, that alone propels all the activities, which is part of this Prakriti only. One who understands this becomes free of that. One who doesn't understand this seems bound in this samsara. Ata etasmin paramartha sankhya darshane sthitanam jnananishtanam paramahamsa parivrajakaanam tiraskrita avidya vyavaharanam karmadikaro na asti iti tatra tatra darshitam bhagavata. Therefore, the enlightened person has got this sense of what you call, doesn't have this notion that I am the doer. Therefore, even a seeker drops this sense of doership and does this sadhana of dhyana and gain abidance in that self which is not a doer. Okay? And becomes free of this samsara. I hope you understood what I said. Otherwise, listen to this pravachan again and contemplate. Try to understand. Comprehend this. Okay? More about this we will see in our class tomorrow. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, contemplate, understand, and we shall meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Boli Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.